The Gnostic Key, Part 4 of 6, The Ignorant King and His Court. Welcome back. We have journeyed through the silence of the source and bathed in the light of the pleroma, the perfect symphony of our spiritual home. You were asked to find the echo of that harmony in your own life, to remember the feeling of perfect flow and unity. Hold on to that memory. You are going to need it, because today, we witness the shattering of that harmony. We arrive at the great plot twist in our cosmic drama, the moment a single dissonant note throws the entire symphony into chaos. This is the Gnostic story of the fall, the birth of the world as we know it. This is Part 4, The Ignorant King and His Court. Part 1, The Dissonant Note. While the tripartite tractate maps the magnificent architecture of heaven, other core Gnostic texts like the Secret Book of John and the Hypostasis of the Archons reveal how that harmony was broken. They tell us that within the perfect pleroma, one of the eons, Sophia, which means wisdom, acted out of turn. In her immense desire to create as the Father creates, she attempted to produce an offspring by herself, without her divine counterpart, and without the full consent of the Source. It was an act born not of malice, but of imbalance and impatience. Her creation was therefore incomplete, imperfect. The text describes it as an abortion, a formless, shadowy substance born outside the harmony of the fullness. Ashamed, Sophia cast this shadow being out of the pleroma, into the chaotic realms below, and veiled it from the sight of the other eons. This being is the ignorant king of this shadow play. He is called the Demiurge. Part 2, The Ignorant King. The Demiurge awakens alone in a realm of shadow and chaos, separated from the pleroma above. He cannot see the world of light from which he inadvertently fell. All he sees is the chaos around him and the power within him, a dim, distorted echo of the creative power of his mother, Sophia. And so, in his ignorance and his arrogance, he makes the most fateful declaration in cosmic history. He looks out upon the darkness and says, "I am God, and there is no other God but me." This is the primal statement of the ego. It is the birth of this separate self. The Demiurge is not the devil. His primary characteristic is not malice, but agnosis, ignorance. He is a flawed copy, a limited administrator who thinks he is the CEO, and so he begins to create. He imposes order on the chaos, building the physical universe. He creates time, gravity, and the laws of physics. He is a brilliant but limited engineer. He builds a system, a matrix, a world that runs on rules, hierarchies, and cause and effect. But as he looked upon his vast and complex creation, he realized he could not manage it alone. He needed administrators. He needed enforcers. He needed a court to reflect his own glory and to execute his will. And so, in his own image of pride and limitation, he brought forth his first creations. Part 3, The Court, the Administrators of Illusion. He created the Archons. The word archon is Greek for ruler or administrator. They are his court, his cosmic bureaucrats, the system administrators of the matrix. They are not emanations from the true source. They are inorganic beings, constructs, lacking the divine spark, or pneuma. Some are described with the faces of animals on the bodies of men, a symbol of their nature as beings bound to lower, instinctual consciousness, devoid of true spirit. Their primary function is not to punish, but to manage, to maintain the illusion, to ensure the smooth operation of the prison. Like any parasite, they require a source of energy, and their food is the emotional energy of sentient beings, specifically low-frequency emotional energy, what some have called loosh. Fear, anger, despair, guilt, division. These are not just unfortunate human experiences. They are a resource. They are the harvest of the archonic farm. This concept is not just ancient mythology. In the 20th century, the controversial researcher Salvador Freixedo bluntly described this reality as la granja humana, the human farm. He argued that just as humanity farms animals for their milk and meat, often without malice, but with total dominance, these entities farm us for the turbulent waves of our emotional suffering. The Gnostics were not the only ones to diagnose this infection. This is a universal secret found in the dark heart of almost every wisdom tradition. In Buddhism, this force is personified as Mara, the lord of the senses, and the demon of illusion. It was Mara who tried to distract the Buddha from enlightenment by assaulting him with fear and seducing him with desire, desperate to keep him trapped in the wheel of samsara. In the shamanic traditions of the Americas, they warn of Wetiko, a cannibalistic mind virus of greed and selfishness that turns people against each other to feed on their conflict. In the mystical branch of Islam, the Sufis speak of the jinn, beings of smokeless fire who live in the unseen dimensions, whispering into the chests of men to distort their perception. And even in Christianity, St. Paul warns that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Archons, Mara, Wetiko, powers, different names for the same phenomenon, inorganic, parasitic intelligences that maintain the matrix. Their methods are subtle and profoundly intelligent. First, they manipulate perception. Today, the archons don't just exist in the astral realms. Their architecture is perfectly mirrored in our modern algorithms. The endless scroll, the outrage machine of social media, the systems that keep you stressed about status and survival. This is the modern archontic farm working at peak efficiency, keeping your attention locked on the material surface. Second, they influence thought. They are the source of mental viruses. They target the lower aspect of your consciousness, what the Vedic traditions call manas, and the Buddhists call the monkey mind. This is the restless, reactive part of your brain that jumps from fear to desire, never staying in the present moment. The Toltec seers, popularized by Carlos Castaneda, called this force the predator and claimed that they gave us their mind. They whisper thoughts of doubt and suspicion into our heads. They don't need to possess us. They only need to suggest a negative thought form and watch as our own ego latches onto it and spins it into a story of suffering. Third, they are the gatekeepers. They erect what the Gnostics called toll booths in the astral realms, corresponding to the 7 planetary spheres. The Gnostics called this overarching system of control Hymarmene, the oppressive law of cosmic fate. Hymarmene is not a natural cosmic order. It is the artificial operating system of the matrix, an astrological algorithm designed to trigger your automatic emotional reactions. After the body dies, the soul must ascend through these planetary spheres, and at each level, an archon attempts to challenge and trick the soul, using Hymarmene to trap it with its own unresolved attachments and fears, forcing it back into the cycle of reincarnation. This is the ultimate recycling program. Part 4. The Shadow in the Mirror. Now bring this cosmic drama down to a personal level, because the Demiurge and his archonic port are not just mythological entities in the sky. They are forces within you. The voice of the demiurge is the voice of your own ego, but the archons, they are his courtiers. They are the legion of smaller, parasitic thoughts that support the ego's reign. When the demiurge in you declares, "I am right and they are wrong," it is the archon of judgment that whispers, "Yes, and they must be punished." When the demiurge in you feels the sting of insecurity, it is the archon of envy that points to another and says, "Look at what they have. You are less than them." When the demiurge fears losing control, it is the archon of anxiety that floods your mind with 1,000 catastrophic what-if scenarios. The archons are the ultimate enablers of the ego. They amplify its signals, validate its fears, and keep it locked on its throne. They are the agents of the matrix operating within the very fabric of your consciousness. Part 5. The task: unmasking the king and his court. And so we arrive at your task. It is now even more crucial and nuanced. It is the practice of watching the entire court. I want you to become a detective of your own mind. When you feel that surge of pride, of judgment, of fear, first identify the king. Recognize the voice of the demiurge, the central I of the ego. But then go deeper. Listen for the courtiers. Listen for the specific archonic whispers. Is it the voice of scarcity? Is it the voice of division? Is it the voice of despair? Don't judge these voices. Don't fight them. That is exactly their game. To fight is to generate the very emotional food they crave. Parasites cannot feed on neutrality. Instead, you must do what a parasite fears most. You must turn on the light. Simply notice them. Ah, I see you. I see the archon of fear is present. In the moment of pure, non-judgmental awareness, you cut off their food supply. You separate your true self, the silent observer, from the parasitic thought form. The archon cannot survive in the light of conscious awareness. It retreats back into the shadows. This is the core of energetic sovereignty. You have now witnessed the fall. You have seen how a single flaw created a shadow, and how that shadow, the demiurge, built a kingdom of illusion governed by the iron algorithm of Heimarmene. You have met his court, the archons, the parasitic administrators of our reality, and you now know that this entire drama is playing out within the theater of your own mind. But the blueprint is not complete. The director has not abandoned the play. Not all of humanity is equally susceptible to the whispers of the court. In our next crucial step, we will explore the Gnostic map of consciousness itself. We will discover the 3 spiritual bloodlines who inhabit this kingdom, and how each one relates differently to the king and his court. And you will be asked to find your own face in this ancient mirror. We will explore the 3 spiritual bloodlines. The key is now turning in the most important lock of all, the one on the door of your own identity.